There's something wrong with the wind. The wind has stopped.
Maybe because the wind crystal's gone.
We need to find the wind crystal.
There's ghosts in my blood.
That's a different one. That's
Better
that's
throw
real life.
everything at the wall.
It's real life 1930s. When
Better
everyone
use
was raised
leeches.
by a cup of coffee.
Bloodletting, the cure to the common cold.
Yeah, we're here up in the Friend Emulator. We have ghosts in our blood. There's something wrong with the wind. Fucking welcome to the late Saturday dream. You know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by that?
I think everybody has their own interpretation. I think that's a good thing.
I am Rumi, also known as Noided.
Nice.
You can call me Adam. We're doing name reveals. That's
Yeah.
it.
I'm
We decided.
Martin. I go by Maru10. It's like the Japanese version of my name, but I spell it with a 7. The T in it would be a 7 instead.
I didn't realize that that's where it came from.
Yeah, it's just you just roll the R.
Came
It's like
from Japan.
Maruten or Maru10.
Wow. So when you said that you used to be one of those kids that was obsessual, you were
Are you trying
Szechuan
to
on
call
that
me a
Asian
weeb?
culture.
Are you trying to call me a weeb? No, just kidding.
No, you said
Chinese
that.
and
That used to be
Japanese,
me.
though. I just liked Asian culture, and I liked actually Native American culture a little bit too.
Yo, we were talking about watching movies. Did I ever tell you I have Bruce Lee on VHS and DVD?
Yeah, I loved martial arts stuff.
We could watch one of those. Seattle Legend.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean,
His,
I guess he was buried
He's
here. I
buried
don't really
here,
know
yeah.
what the deal is with that, but I'm a big fan. He's certainly like a beautiful, graceful man. You know what I mean?
yes.
One of the best to ever do it.
Yes, he was super educated in like philosophy as well as like actual martial arts. But it wasn't all like the physical
he
aspect.
was like the Tony Hawk.
He was a
of
warrior
martial
and
arts.
a poet and
He elevated it to a new level.
And a
he was
star.
kind of like the Muhammad Ali.
yes,
Of
he was
Kung
a
Fu.
showman and like an actor and all this stuff. So he was good at a bunch of different things.
I actually don't know a lot about him. I will be honest.
Some
I kind
people
of
said
named
he's
my
pretty-
band after him.
Some people said he was pretty pretentious, and I have some firsthand stories of him, like
Pretentious?
like people with a big chip on their shoulder, that are famous, like treating regular people like shit.
Oh,
Kinda
he was
stories.
just like,
Especially with like up and coming, like a lot of like American people learning kung fu and stuff. Like back in the day, it's like, oh yeah, you're nothing, pretty much, kind of attitude. He can be an asshole. I think wasn't Quentin Tarantino trying to like make Bruce Lee out to be an asshole in his movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
oh, is Bruce Lee in that? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and I never watched it either, but
I'm
I
ashamed.
heard
I haven't seen a lot of the
they
Quentin
made him too
Tarantino
much
stuff, the
of
newer stuff.
like
Did you see Hateful Eight?
pretentious guy.
That was Quentin Tarantino, right?
It sounds like it was. I'm not sure actually. I haven't seen it.
There was
I don't think.
there was another. I got confused because
Is that
there
the
was
Tank
another
movie?
movie.
Is that the Tank movie?
Tank? No,
Okay, no.
I don't. It was like a western. I
No,
think it
I
had
don't think I
Samuel
saw
Jackson. I got really confused because there was a movie called Hateful Eight, and then there was a movie called
it.
like
Inglorious Bastards.
no, it was like Sinful Six or like something 7, and it was like I think it was just like a really bad clone of the other one. But yeah, I got very confused by that.
Do you ever see Cloverfield? Found footage movies?
No.
and stuff, or candy
I
can
haven't
movies.
even seen Blair Witch.
Yeah, Blair Witch.
I
and
don't
stuff.
watch movies.
I didn't really watch Blair Witch. Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of movies, but I've seen some of those like awesome.
What are your
classic
favorite
ones.
horror movies that you've seen?
I'm not sure about favorites. That's always hard for me. But Cloverfield, if it counts as a horror movie, it's more like sci-fi almost, but it's like scary. That one was cool.
Wait, that was
Let me think.
that came after the other one though, right? What was the first one?
Cloverfield's like a Godzilla movie, but it's like in America
Oh,
instead,
wait.
but it's like an alien.
Was it directed by that one dude who did the Star Trek movie though?
I don't even know.
JD, not JD Van. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was that big found footage movie that was like before Cloverfield though?
I think it was Blair Witch Project.
No, it was.
Maybe something else. I'm not sure.
Was there a sequel to Cloverfield?
There actually like was. I found out, or I wasn't sure. Like there's 10 Cloverfield Lane, and when that came out, I was like, is that a sequel to Cloverfield?
Oh, 10.
And then
yeah,
I didn't
okay.
think it was, and there was some weird stuff with like the making of it where
I
don't know,
can't
the
think
marketing-
today.
the
I couldn't
marketing.
think of that
I
guy
don't even know.
earlier.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't think of that guy earlier who's like this weird, like diplomat billionaire guy. Yeah, I'm just spacing on like, I don't know. I took a Z-Quil last night. I think that's probably part of it. Straight up, I tried to go to bed like
Oh.
at a decent hour, and then I was like, this isn't gonna work.
Guess what date we're recording this on?
Oh, may the 4th be with you.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars Day.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Guess what else is today?
Deerhoof in Seattle.
Fuck yeah! I'm not going
Yeah, thanks for that.
because I suck. And I didn't buy a ticket in time.
I'm telling you.
The
That might
opportunity of
not
a
even be a problem.
lifetime.
But it is what it is. Like I said,
would be cool.
I'm gonna go and meet
My
my
bad.
future wife. Everything's gonna be fine.
Deerhoof Gore.
The dawn of Deerhoof Core. Yeah, I was I don't know how to tell them. I wonder if I'll get a chance to talk. I don't know. I'm just fanboying out right now.
Yeah.
But I do have kind of a plan to make a video series
Master
about.
plan.
It's like kind of about them, but kind of about music in general. I want to talk about like I want to talk about stuff like basically genres, like the art philosophy of like genres and stuff.
Yeah, maybe touch down on like the what led to like the genre, like the history, how it came together, because some of them have like a interesting history.
Yeah, Deerhoof certainly fucking defies
Certain bands
any
that created.
classification.
Yeah.
And I
Genres.
have a theory about them that they're like a garage rock band. That
A little
nobody ever
bit.
describes them as a garage rock band, but like that
I
is
could-
kind of what they are.
I could agree with that descriptor of them.
If you look at the classic,
With
they
how
are
they-
from
how
San
it sounds when
Francisco,
they
which
record
is
it.
like where a lot of that sound comes from. But obviously, decades later, about 2 or 3 decades later, they formed in the early 90s. But they have a lot of that, like, sort of a Blind Melon, Violet Femmes, Nuggets, Zombies, even, sort of sound. But then people call them math rock, people call them indie rock, people call them, I don't know. They're really hard to classify, though. That's kind of what I love about them. In their interview, they did at the radio station yesterday. They were like, I think that's the guiding principle. I think the guy asked him what like the I don't know, the program, the sort of the modus operandi, the guiding principle behind what the band is. And Greg said that they like to do songs that are they don't have any one particular mood, and they play the same song on different days, and it will it'll evoke a different emotion each time.
So like kind of like a prism.
There's something kind of stoic about that, I guess. In this, I don't know about the philosophy of stoicism. I guess it's kind of sus, but
I like that though.
The quietude of it.
Yeah, because music definitely invokes different emotions and stuff, so it can enhance emotions or like make you feel different ways. So it's interesting to play with that as an art form.
There's almost nothing emotional about their music. Anyway, obviously I talk about Deerhoof.
Well, it's like jam. Like that's why, I agree with the descriptor of like garage rock or like garage band sound or garage sound or whatever. Because it's like a lot of like
not the UK garage, not this newfangled computer
nice rhythm
junk.
and stuff.
But yeah, have you ever listened to those Nuggets comps with like the freaking strawberry alarm clock and stuff?
I don't know.
Lipstick and peppermints and da 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 da. They did like I
don't know.
They did some parodies of that when Homer was like a hippie in The Simpsons.
Ooh.
Did you ever see that episode where it like
Maybe.
flashed back and he had like the long hair and shit?
Yeah,
that was all the flower power shit.
Yes,
that's like the real hippie shit. That's like garage rock. That shit's awesome, and it's the Nuggets comp. It was very funny when I heard that mentioned on another podcast I was listening to.
70s.
But yeah, people from San Francisco know,
They know the sound.
Yeah, there was
the champion sound.
It was like a scene.
Yeah,
there was like in LA, there was like
sounds.
punk wars.
Ooh,
there's a huge history of like punk
I
rock in LA.
I don't know, but it's like I love all the genres.
But yeah,
so much.
LA's got the punk and the new wave stuff, but San Francisco always had like the hippie shit. I wonder if the Dead hung out there. They probably like lived there for all I know.
The Dead.
The freaking Dead.
The Dead hung out there.
The Dead totally hung out there.
Yep.
It's where they manufactured all the LSD right off of Hayden Ashbury.
Goblin mode.
Welcome to Background Sounds with Rumi and Mara. Keep going. Keep going. I was gonna like. Okay, fine. That's cool. I'll just edit the podcast for the first time.
What? Edit it? Why? It was background sounds.
Well, if we meander into silence, it's gonna become an inevitability.
Background sounds.
But I think I might have saved us. So I was trying to get a listicle of listicle. So I would love to do the iceberg
lettuce,
and then the tier list. But maybe that's an idea for a future episode.
Tier list. So it's like other people's tier lists.
Yeah, like what are the best tier lists? Actually, you know what? That's a Calvin ball right there. I think I want to make this episode the Calvin ball episode, quite frankly.
It kind of ended up into Calvin ball territory.
That's a Calvin ball. That's a Calvin ball right there. Okay, let me ask
Plus
you first.
Let me
switch it around. What is your iceberg? I could ask you what's your tier list, or I could ask you what your iceberg is. But either way,
The iceberg is harder
You got-
for me to wrap my mind around
you got
as a
yourself
concept.
You got yourself a veritable Calvin ball right there.
Doesn't seem possible. It's like two infinities.
Two infinities and beyond.
You have an infinity on an infinity.
I guess.
Is that a Calvin ball?
Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. I'll explain the principles of Calvin ball. But first,
There we go. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm gonna bleep that out.
Don't do that.
No farts, no burps. That'll be a fun little
Not
gem
safe.
of knowledge
This is a safe place.
that all of Friendship Emulator started with a fart, but you don't get to hear the fart.
Nope.
So Calvin ball.
That's just a legend.
A Calvin ball is like any game that you invent, right? So for me, like I made this
Oh.
song a long time ago called Whatever the Opposite, and that became like a thought exercise thing. And
Okay.
it's something that you can apply as a little mental game to anything. Like give me like anything.
Okay.
Like an emotion, like an environment, like your favorite like food or
And
actor.
then like the opposite
car.
of it's like the opposite of Pepsi.
Well, that one's really easy.
What's that?
RC Cola.
All right. All right.
All right. Feed me something else. Give me something that's hard to work with.
The opposite or like the lower grade, like the third party, or not the.
That's sounding like an entirely new game of Calvin Ball to me.
That's like the
like the what we have at home.
yeah, like the
Like we
grocery
haven't-
outlet versus like the
Okay.
superstore.
What's the bargain bin version of X? Usually
Yeah.
involves like a short algebra equation where you place
Yeah.
X into
That's
the
not as fun.
algebra.
I want an example of
just
like
don't
the
think
first.
about it
I
as-
want an example of the first thing that you were saying. So it's like the opposite of a dragon, or what's like? Oh,
I'll
I'm gonna
gi-
give you a topic.
I could give you.
I'm gonna
a-
give you a
okay.
topic, and then you give me the Calvin ball.
Any word,
You give
basically.
it. You convert it into. You use the Calvin ball equation to convert it, and tell me the result.
I'll put it into my
So
Calvin
here
Ball
we
machine.
go. What if I gave you a waterfall?
And I said whatever the opposite of a waterfall is would be a sand dune.
A sand dune.
Or
Okay, so it's like
maybe
the
a
opposite.
desert. Is a tundra? What's the difference between a desert tundra and a tundra? What do you call
So-
an arid? But it's not sandy.
Oh.
It's just like hard. Is there a name for that?
Wasteland, not wasteland.
Hinterlands? That's like an old school name for it, I guess.
Actually, I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of on the tip of my mind.
Because I feel like even just
Like
sand,
an area where like nothing really lives.
like a sandy desert with like dunes is almost too close to a waterfall because it has those qualities of a. So I'd say like
Yeah, I
one of those
guess
arid
lack of
deserts
water.
that has like very little sand and it's kind of just dry earth. Like
Is it
a
just
desert-
like a
Death Valley.
machination of our minds that fire is the opposite of water? When really, like, you kind of highlighted the reality that just like dry stuff where there's not a lot of humidity is more the opposite of water than like lava.
Yeah,
I
but
would
the
say, like,
drier something it is.
What if it was like a lava fall
the
instead
drier
of a
something is, the
waterfall?
more susceptible it is to fire, I guess.
Kind of, but it's like
Then again, gasoline is a liquid, so it's not true. Nothing is true in a vacuum. This is what I'm saying. It's like my motto recently.
it's all in your mind.
So yeah, whatever the opposite, and then there's what we have at home. So
Okay.
let's switch it around. I'll give you you said dragon earlier. What's the we have a dragon at home?
Dragon D's nuts.
God. It's over. We're
Got
never doing this again.
him.
How much time?
Got him.
Look what you just did.
Well, I know who's going to work that one out.
You have no idea. You think you know, but you have no idea.
All I have is a
the true
name.
life of Jay-Z.
Yeah. Slam dunk.
Okay, but answer the question though. What's the bargain bin version
Of a dragon.
of a dragon? Yeah, basically. Oh, I have an answer already right off the top
An
of my head.
iguana.
I was gonna say wyvern. Because wyvern isn't a wyvern like kind of a dragon?
if it was
but
still a mythical thing.
what is a wyvern?
It's like a dragon, but it has no limbs. It's like a snake with wings. And some other,
yeah.
it's kind of like a lesser little.
They have wyverns in Dragon Warrior. I
Kind of
played
like
Dragon
a
Warrior
snake
1, but
as
not any other
opposed
ones.
to a salamander or something. I don't know.
So yeah. Can we okay, what about you said got him?
Twice.
What tell me what your tier list is then. This is another Calvin ball. And then
that's
there was
too
another Calvin
complicated.
ball that I came up with the other. Oh yeah, my favorite Calvin ball. What my thing about X is.
So my thing about
X. Feed me a topic like improv topic me.
Gundam.
So my thing about I don't know a lot about Gundam. I'll try though. So my thing about Gundam is
That you don't know a lot about it.
I can't really you have to know about the thing to make the joke about it. My thing
I
about Gundam
deconstructed.
is why do they take so long to move? I actually heard that the real life, you know, that like thing in Japan that's like the biggest Gundam,
Oh yeah.
the biggest actual.
I've seen those.
It has the
I've
Guinness
seen the
World
videos.
Record. It's like they like speed up the videos because it moves so slowly. I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I kind of. The first video I watched, I think, did say that, and then like I watched some of the ones that were sped up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I was
mean,
like,
it's
"Oh, this is really
animatronic, but
cool."
You don't. Yeah. I can't imagine it being very.
It's still like, if
easy.
you're just sitting there admiring the view, it's slowly moving. It's still not. It's still awesome to like the scale of it in general. I wouldn't even expect them to make it move. In the first place, just having a life-size one itself is like already an achievement, I guess.
If it doesn't move, it's not really a Gundam.
Yeah, they're trying to make, but it's like pre-programmed and stuff, and it needs like a stand to hold it. It can't like just balance itself up.
It has a stand, really?
Pretty sure it's just like hidden,
Wait,
sort of.
that's not animatronic.
Still animatronic. It just like the whole thing has a base around it. It has like the.
All right, we need like a new
Floors.
category then for like freestanding, standing on its own 2 feet. You know,
Like giant.
these giant
Mechanized
Gundams have had
units.
it too good for too long.
Yeah.
They need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Yeah, it's just a cool tourist thing, maybe, or like spectacle. Like
They have like
I mean, it's in
dinner
it's in
theater
honor of it
things.
too. It's
I think
a huge
I saw
thing.
it on Twitch once. Dinner theater in Japan with like basically Gundams or whatever. Like they have like techno music and like robots and stuff. I don't know.
Sounds cool.
It sounds really cool, right?
Robots.
We should go to
are
Japan
pretty awesome.
one day.
I mean, maybe.
Might be good. Okay, so my thing about tier lists is
Some stuff is subjective.
yeah, you can't just right?
Yeah.
You can't just say that.
Even if your tier list could be different than somebody else's tier list.
What are you like the international standards of
It's just a general
organization?
idea.
Standardization? nation.
That's
across
like
the
your
station.
opinion, bro, or whatever the kids say these days.
Apparently, there is this organization in the UK called like the Official Standards Org or something.
The gold standard.
And they have all of these things where, like, I think it might come from like the Dutch East India Company or something like that. Like out of
Dutchy?
like that whole.
To the left-hand side.
No, that's the West Indian. That's the West Indian Company,
Ah.
which apparently was a real thing. But yeah, they have all of these standards for like testing the quality of all products. Like there's like I remember seeing a diagram that was like the specific like recognized way to measure like a thing of tea, like make a cup of tea, right? And it was for like testing the quality of a black tea and its strength and like the amount of caffeine in it. And
Oh, kind of
It was
like a
like-
food standard thing?
yeah, but it was like put
a
this
official?
amount of the funny thing about it was that it told you to put milk in the cup and put it
Okay.
in the cup like before you put the tea in, and like I think you heat the milk up. I don't even know.
Oh, like a specific
It's like room
Like-
temperature milk or something.
chronological order.
It was a funny thing considering like, yeah, okay, this
The
is
temperature
a whole
matters
organization
beforehand.
that has like this huge database of like all these rules for how to prepare tea or like measure, manufacture like wood or whatever.
Yeah,
But
it's
it was
kinda like
also
an art
funny
form.
because of like the milk thing. It was like
Yeah, my
they-
milk has to
they-
be just right.
Well, I mean, I feel like most people in England
Do they
would
use goat ever?
scoff at the idea of milk in their tea.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I kind of like, dude,
But
like
it was-
Thai iced tea and stuff. I think has milk in it. It's so good.
I think that was the joke, maybe, that it was like kind of outdated in that sense. I don't know.
Dude, tea and milk
But yeah,
combo
those
kind of
British
drinks
people like
are
to standardize shit.
like sweet drinks that have like tea and milk. Usually are just like really good.
I haven't had a bubble tea in a while. I used to work at a place.
Yeah,
pretty much since then, I
the
haven't
one
gone
I
to get
used to
one.
go to was awesome. I was going there more regularly, and then it got like firebombed or something. So
What?
yeah, like the buildings all burned down
Oh,
in the
yeah.
whole block, and then yeah, they had to
Yes,
get
I know
rebuilt.
what
They
you're
probably
talking about.
might reopen, but that was just unfortunate.
Ooh, there's a lot
That
of.
was good though.
There's some chains too. There's a lot of good bubble tea chains out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got
That's
kind
nice.
of a pain in my chest. Ate a lot of pie.
Cherry pie.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Calvin Ball.
Bounce the Calvin ball.
Yeah, it started as like a whole thing, but that's like a story for the fables, you know?
Okay.
That's like a whole nother story.
Should we
but
pass the Calvin ball?
pass the Calvin Ball to who?
Just put
Who do you
it
think is
away
gonna
for a
be
second.
in our legacy? Put it away.
In
I'll
our
never
le-
put my Calvin Ball away.
Well, just like since we're off the topic of Calvin ball, or this is the Calvin ball episode.
I want it to be the Calvin Ball episode, kind of.
Okay.
But I mean,
Well, if it's the Calvin ball episode, then me saying that it shouldn't be the Calvin ball episode is the Calvin ball of the Calvin ball episode.
I would say that's the
in a
Calvin
way.
Ball we have at home.
That's even better.
No, is that an okay? Okay, so if you can't think of like an improv suggestion, just use Calvin Ball
Okay.
as a suggestion.
Exactly.
So
It's like a safety net.
So what
for
is the budget? What do we have Calvin Ball at home? What is that like? Oh God, what's
It's
like
kind of an Inception.
bargain
situation.
bin Calvin Ball? What's like a game that like Jumanji?
This is getting into the territory of like time travel and multiverse theory.
No, it's
But
just
it's like
I'm
playing
just
4D
basically
chess.
the prompt is what's another game that's like a made up game from a media property that's like kind of shittier than Calvin Ball.
Flubber.
Flubber's not really a game. It's more of like a toy.
Oh, Hungry Hippos.
That's a real game.
There's little balls. There's little pebbles. There's a Calvin balls.
Okay. What about XFL? Remember the XFL?
What's that? XFL.
It's like the Extreme Football League or something.
Oh.
It was like wrestling but football. I think it was owned by Vince McMahon, like literally.
Did you ever see any toys when you were growing up that were like you have like a cast out of clay that was like, maybe it was WWE endorsed too, and you would like put the clay cast in, it would make a person and then bake it in the oven to make like a figure?
There were WWE stars?
Something like that. Like you could make a wrestler, like bake him in the oven.
No.
Yeah,
I had
there's
like a
all
Stretch
kinds of stuff
Armstrong.
in the.
Did you ever have Stretch Armstrong?
90s. I heard about him. No, I didn't have him.
I think that was it a superhero or a toy first?
I don't know. I think it was a toy.
Yeah, you just
From what I
stretch his
heard.
arms and then they stretch back.
Yeah. Fantastic Four.
Those things probably had like lead in them or something.
Oh, yeah. Gumby back in the day.
Yo,
He was actually an
that's
eraser.
the deep dark secret of Gumby is that he was made of pure lead.
It was activated plutonium
Whoa.
or indium
For real?
or cadmium.
Dude, if you told me that with a straight face,
Plutonium?
which you kinda did.
Did I already say plutonium?
uranium, plutonium,
I don't know.
either one, I'm freaking out.
I don't know. I
would
don't
believe
know.
you. If you told me you were like a Gumby expert and that's what he was made of, like
I
I
don't
would
know.
actually
I've seen
believe
some
you.
Gumbies back in the day.
I'm gonna marathon Gumby. I really have been meaning to do it for years now, but
Gumby's like, the movie is kind of like a stop motion.
there's a movie?
I thought there was like movies and stuff.
Is there a movie?
I swear there is. Unless
The
it's
Gumby
Berenstein Bears
movie- I
effect.
think you're right. It might be from like the 80s.
Yeah, there's accompanying movies and stuff, but it was like a real life thing. It was kind of like Funko Pops back in the day. If you think about it, there's people collected Gumby as like a thing in troll dolls. The troll dolls with the hair.
Oh
And you
yeah.
like brush the hair and stuff. All those 90s things, Furbies. Like this capitalism strikes again and again and again in a vicious cycle over and over. Pogs.
Furbies are so horrific.
No, there's
now.
just like sets of things, you know. There's just like sets of things in capitalism. Then you collect them all, and you have to collect them all.
Beanie Babies
Pokemon,
is a really bad one.
Beanie Babies,
They
yeah.
still sell
And
Beanie Babies.
there
at,
was like
the CVS
there was like
or
an
whatever.
Olympic collection, like near when I was born, like 1995, and yeah, they were super rare. And if you don't open them, then they're like extra money.
I don't think
And
they're.
I wasn't allowed to open them and stuff. So
Oh,
it's like
'cause they had
defeats the
packaging?
purpose. Yeah, so you keep them in the packaging because it's like collectability.
The ones that I see in the store now
And exclusivity
don't even
and
have
stuff.
packages, and I feel like most of them didn't, and that's why. And they didn't stop producing them, so they never got more rare. That's how it.
They used to be like really collectible or something.
I mean, I've seen videos about this because like, there's this one guy on YouTube who offers advice about video game collecting.
Yeah.
And I know there's just like tons of random people who do this, but the guy that I saw was kind of just saying like, yeah, don't do it.
Don't collect video
Don't
games.
collect video. Like don't expect. I mean, do it for fun, but don't like expect a whole lot of it. And he referenced Beanie Babies as like one of the worst like trends in like millions of people thinking they were gonna like
Be valuable.
Yeah, just like they're
Yeah.
gonna have this collection. that
Because
was,
like I wanted
complete
to
or whatever.
open them, and then like my parents at the time like didn't want me to open them because they wanted it to be pristine or whatever, and it's like counterintuitive. It's supposed to be a stuffed animal for kids to play with.
Speaking
Which is
of
stupid.
WWE, I have still in the original packaging, but also my house has kind of been like damaged by like nicotine smoke and shit. Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like I can show it to you later. It's so funny. It's like it has like a button that you press on him or something where he says
Oh
shit.
yeah,
And there's like this advertisement for like you can like,
Budweiser. No,
you can like go on the internet and like upload your own whatever. Like it was like at the dawn of like it was almost like Netscape days where it was like
go to
you could put an MP3
www.
into it or something. It's really awesome. I've looked it up
Oh,
on eBay
nice.
a bunch because
So you could make him say different stuff or something. It was like super
I
complicated.
don't think you even like recorded your own stuff. It was just like you downloaded new MP3s from their website and put it on.
Yeah, to just like show off the
I don't even know.
functionality.
It would be impossible to get to work now with modern operating systems.
I'm sure those websites are just not.
But I'm pretty sure he
supported.
still has the original ones. Anyway, it hasn't accrued any more value. It hasn't risen in value, that particular.
Yeah.
And like I've found like random Pokemon cards around and been like, hey, it's like worth like $2 or something. I don't know. There's like in video
Yeah,
games
I thought
and
some of my
everything.
old cards were something, and it's like, no, I could buy those singles for like $2 or $3 a piece.
I used to have straight
Some
up.
of them might be a little bit more. If you sold all of them, yeah, like you can make a little tiny bit, but
It's the saddest thing ever. My Pokemon cards got stolen from me in second
yeah,
grade.
that's the story. Like people always had some rare shit and then they lost it.
I
They got
also
stolen
had
or something.
Yeah, no. I mean,
It would
a
be
lot
worth
of
a
people
fortune.
sell their shit.
Yeah, or you
I
got
guess
rid of
I
it.
sold some. Did I sell? I must have
Not
sold
knowing
video
that it
games
would
if they
be-
weren't around anymore, but they also probably just broke.
Yeah, just like not knowing it would like be a super
Yeah,
huge collector's
my
item.
Super Nintendo.
I
think
wish
got
that I had
stolen,
all
though.
my old NES games and stuff. That would be amazing if those just like lasted all the way until now. Like just having that huge collection already without having to collect anything.
I want to. I still have Zelda. It just happens to be inside one of my broken NESs. I get the feeling one of my NESs is not actually broken though. I have like I think 5 or maybe 6 broken game systems that I can like tinker around with now. It's pretty dope.
Maybe somebody could fix them.
It's pretty fire.
Let's fire dope on the dance floor.
And I could figure out how to fix
100.
them myself. The Game Gear is going to be fun.
Game Gear is awesome. Was there
A screen for a Game Gear is probably hella expensive.
Was there a Sonic game? It's Sega. Of course there was a Sonic game, huh?
Yeah, I think they had like
I
2 or
think-
3.
I believe when I had a Game Gear, I had a Sonic game that was with it and something else. I'm not sure.
I saw one guy on the internet going through the entire Game Gear catalog, like playing all the games, and I was like, you're crazy. Because the Game Gear has like a super small screen. Like famously, it has like
Apparently, it was really good for the time, though.
a bit
It was
like a
kinda
bad
big.
aspect ratio. A lot
Well, it
of
was
games
weird
were
at-
like too zoomed in, kind of.
Yeah, I think I had black bars on the right and left or something. Like
Yeah, it wasn't.
vertical black
It
bars.
wasn't 3-4 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was like, it was interesting. I don't know. It just seemed like it had different games.
My dream is to play.
Wasn't on anything
There's a
else.
game called Fantasy Star Adventures on the Game Gear, which is like
Is there anything that's console locked to Game Gear that would be like actually worth getting just to play it?
console locked, like not
Like it's not on
emulatable?
anything else. Like were any of the Sonic games like only on that Game Gear?
Well, they're ports. They're
They're
still.
all ports. that
I
are
think-
on the Game Gear?
Yeah, and then like like a Game Boy.
Oh, so it's just a
Advance
portable version of like games that they could have elsewhere.
Yeah, the Game Gear version. It's a lot like Game
Like
Boy
the
Advance or
Switch,
something.
or-
where
Not really, but
or yeah, I don't know. There
Okay.
isn't. It's weird because there isn't like
maybe it was almost like the PSP of the Sega. Was there a Sega console still?
it
When
was
Game Gear
during
was
the
out?
time of the Genesis. I think it might have come out before the Genesis, which would be Master System era. But the weird thing that I'm realizing is that they never even attempted to port Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star to the handheld consoles. They just did original titles.
For Game Gear specifically?
Well, no, I mean there's Final Fantasy Adventures, I think, on Game Boy, which is like,
Game Boy.
oh my god, there's also that Mario Land. There's a lot
Oh
of
my
weird
gosh.
like series.
There's the Mario RPG games. Oh my god. Like there's like a Warp Through Time one that was on DS, and there was ones for Game Boy Advance where they're like, it's kind of like Paper Mario turn-based combat, but also Final Fantasy, but
Wait,
also
so they actually made Mario RPG sequels? Like the
yes,
Seven Stars?
there's like this
the first
franchise.
one was on Super Nintendo.
There's this certain spin-off franchise.
Have you played the first one on Super? Seven Star Saga or whatever?
Maybe.
That one was actually made by Square Enix.
Oh wow!
It's
I
really
didn't know
good
that.
too.
Yeah,
I used to play it back in the day. I had a copy.
those were awesome.
I have a really distinct memory of
I loved those.
we used to go when the Supersonics
Games.
were still around. We used to go when the season opened at like 6 a.m. to downtown Seattle to like go to the box office and buy the tickets. We did it for like two or 3 years in a row. And I have this really ingrained memory of like waking up at like 5:30, 6 in the morning to go down to Seattle with my family. And I was like playing Super Mario RPG. And I don't remember like what I was doing. I didn't really finish the game or anything, but that's some hardcore nostalgia memories. And then Paper Mario, I didn't know that Mario RPG
Yeah.
on DS was a thing though, but
There
I did
was,
play
like,
the Paper
this-
Mario.
There was a few of them, and one of them was like Warp in Time or something similar. I don't know exactly, but I forget the title. But it was like where aliens were attacking, and you had to like combo stuff in time. I think that there was like a lot of like quick command stuff, and like there was Baby Mario and Luigi with you, and you could change forms. Like you could change formations with them and like use different moves, like roll around with each other and do like acrobatic moves to like move around the map and stuff. And I don't
That
know.
sounds-
The battles were like intricate.
That sounds kind of like
It was.
that sounds kind of like the original one, but with like
I wish
Paper
that I
Mario.
remembered the name and stuff so I could just.
Paper Mario is a little
Name
different
drop
because
it.
it has the whole gimmick of like 2D. It's like
Yeah.
it's really comedic,
It's
and there's like the
turn-based
quote unquote audience who's like there the whole time.
Yeah.
So
it's
this
like a
is Final
play.
Fantasy Adventures. I was looking it up because I wanted to make. This is the original Game Boy. And
That's when it came out when it was black and white.
There's like
So,
some platforming
with those games,
parts
if you
of it.
if you plug that into a color, does it get its color?
Yeah, but it's just like a distinct palette that because it came out before the Game Boy Color, I think.
Yeah, so it has limited colors.
But I'd love to play those games and then Mario Land. But yeah, it's interesting to note that like,
Mario
well, no,
Land.
maybe it's just
Super
a
Mario
later
Land
generation
on
thing.
Super Mario Land on Sega Game Gear.
No, Phantasy Star on Game Gear, Phantasy Star Adventures on Game Gear,
Oh.
and then Final Fantasy Adventures on Game Boy, the first Game
Oh,
Boy,
okay.
and then Super Mario Land,
On Game Boy.
which is like, what is it, like a Metroidvania type game or something? Like an early, because I know the
Super Mario Land?
No, Mario Land, which
Mario
is like,
Land.
it's like the original Mario Land on
Wasn't
Game Boy.
that
I
still side scroll and like level based and everything?
think it
You
might
go
have
through the
been.
world, and it just has like Yoshi
How is it
and
different
stuff.
than Mario then?
Does it have Yoshi? Mario Land, Super Mario Land.
I never played it. I couldn't tell you. I'll look it up real quick. Final Fantasy Adventures and Super Mario Land. I'm pretty sure it was for the
I think Super Mario
Boy,
Land
right?
was like the first one that had Yoshi in it, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That
it's
was
a
the
Game
one-
Boy game.
That was a game I really wanted to have but never did. And then I played the one with Yoshi on like N64 or something, or Super Nintendo. And I never had those consoles. And it was always really fun.
Anyway, the Phantasy
Mm-hmm.
Star Adventures game on Game Gear has one of the best songs. It's like one of my favorite
Ooh.
video game songs of all
Soundtrack.
time. I haven't listened to the whole soundtrack yet, but it's on a Zophar domain, ZOPHAR. It's a great resource for anyone looking for video game music, and you can contribute on his Patreon or their Patreon.
Mario and Luigi 2 Partners in Time.
What is that? Is that the RPG game you're talking about?
Yeah. And then there was like previous games that were like that. But it's kind of like a further iteration of it.
Before I get into that, I'd love to just go back and play the 7-Star Saga on Super Nintendo. I recently watched a playthrough on Twitch. It was fun. But yeah,
Yeah, there's Partners in Time.
we
Oh,
got Calvin Ball. Do you want to tell me what your tier list would be? Actually, I did want to kind of get into that. It's a stupid, funny idea.
Calvin Ball tier list?
Well,
say
it's
it?
a Calvin Ball. It's a Calvin Ball.
I lost my Calvin Ball. Do 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 do. I don't know. I don't know like how to conceptualize Calvin balls that fast, let alone have enough to formulate a tier list of all the Calvin balls that could exist.
No, not for Calvin Ball. It's a tier list.
Tier
So
list, tier list.
The items on the tier list are tier lists.
So these are people's tier lists that they put together.
Just any tier list that you can.
Think of.
It doesn't have to exist.
The
It doesn't
tier
have to be
of-
one that
tier
you've
list
seen
of
before.
like tools, the tier list of cars versus the tier list of dinosaurs versus the tier list.
What would be like the most? What was the tier list that you would want to see the most? And then you put that on S tier, basically.
The tier list. Oh, that kind of makes more sense. The tier list I would like to see most to least. Okay.
Okay.
Tier list.
An F tier list would be like, for me, an F tier list would
Oh
be
my
like
god.
like
Politicians.
best top 40 songs.
Best
Because
presidents.
I'm a hipster.
Best presidents.
Best presidents?
That's
no,
an F tier.
No, because presidents are interesting.
None
the
of them
sense
have been
that-
good enough. That's
Well,
the whole thing with
It's
why
interesting
they're
to
F
study
tier.
them in the sense that they are tools.
Yeah,
to
I think they
this
all have
gruesome thing we
gotten.
call capital.
I think they have all gotten an F tier so far on average. So that's why I give
Yeah,
them
but
an F
to
tier.
see a tier list. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. It would not be it wouldn't be a
because
very
of
entertaining tier list
the ethics alone.
because you
of
would get
presidency.
everyone. Yeah, you want maximum entertainment in your tier lists. I'm gonna say that might be a D. I was gonna say C. President tier list. C tier.
On average.
Dinosaurs. Easy B for me.
I would say, yeah, like
I don't know anything about
dinosaurs
too.
alone is just one
'Cause
family.
that would be like an educational experience.
That's not
for
like
me.
soft shell. That's not like crustaceans or anything like that. That's just dinosaurs, saurians or whatever. Right? It's
Okay,
like its own category.
crustaceans. What about sea anemone, or what do you call? What are all
Like,
those like in sea
just
invertebrates?
dinosaurs.
Or no, invertebrates. I'm not liking that. I'm not liking
Dinosaurs.
That's the S.
Wait. So what did you rate dinosaurs?
that. I have a kind of phobia.
'Cause we're
of,
gonna
like,
do the
sea urchins
average.
and jellyfish. What do I rate? What?
The dinosaur on tier list.
Dinosaur is a B for me because I'm not like
I would rate
I'm
it
not
dinosaurs.
super interested. I'm not like a fan of dinosaurs, but I'd be interested to learn about them.
I would say a B is fair, so that we could call that B.
All right. What
This
about
is a shared tier list.
what about
Tier list. Double tier list dragon.
I'm trying to think of
D's.
something that you might not rate very high.
Cheese.
Like, do you not like cheese?
I would
tier
say
list
cheese
for
is
me
like
is
a
an A.
C.
It's going to be an A for me.
It's in the middle.
I would love to see a cheese tier list. I love cheese so much. I'm just thinking about what my favorite types of cheese are right now. I'm putting them all. I'm doing the Pepe Sylvia.
Oh yeah,
I'm like putting them all
I
in
can
different
definitely
categories.
enjoy
I
some
love that.
cheese, but
I'm a fan.
for a tier list, that's just not
Call
that
me
entertaining
cheese
for me.
fan. Cheese fan.
It just makes me hungry, and it's addicting anyway. So it's like
720. Cheese fan 360.
I would say 3. Everything in C. Everything in moderation.
All right, cheese, ice
So
cream.
watch out. Ice cream.
Ice cream tier list.
C or B. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd go B with
A.
that too.
Whatever. Ice cream. It's so like everybody loves ice cream. At some point, I would say it's an A or something. Maybe. But there can be multiple things that in like each tier, right? Or is it overall?
No, yeah, no. You put
Ever.
as many things in each tier as you want.
Yeah.
Okay, what about television actors? They have to have appeared in television,
Oh
not
my
just
god,
movies.
I don't know that many people, by name, but
Yeah, but imagine
there's
yourself
like
as a
obvious
viewer.
people.
Like I would probably rate that like a D.
Television
It's not a very good tier
actors.
list.
Yeah, it's just like everybody talks about actors. That's a D.
What
for
about
dumb
countries?
countries? That's a C because in America we don't know that much. So, and it starts with C.
Yeah, but you personally, what do you rate it?
I think if there was a tier list of countries, what does that mean?
Well, it's going to be
Which
long.
one's better?
First of all, it's going to be really long because there's a lot of countries.
Yeah, but that's like a definitive number. And then what are you rating them on?
It's too long. Like I can't rate it an F.
That's a really complicated tier list, actually, because you're rating the entire country.
Yeah,
It's not
no,
like
maybe
you're
it's-
not rating a cheese.
Oh,
You're not
yeah.
rating an inanimate object. You're zooming out, and
Yeah,
you're rating
those
the
are like
entire
people
country.
you're dealing with. I didn't even consider that part of
It's
it.
like zoomed out. It's
But
like
it's-
rating a galaxy. Like there's everything in this planet.
it's really problematic,
know.
isn't it? Like, wouldn't it be problematic to pretty
It's like-
much put any country in a low tier
What
for
about-
any reason?
What about elements in the periodic table of elements?
Mr. Beast does a tier list of countries, and he puts North Korea in the F tier, and it's what sparks World War III.
Yeah, he just set it off because he had a bigger
I'm
audience
pretty
than
sure he
us.
doesn't do. He never even did tier lists or anything like
No.
that. That's like bottom rung. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm not sure.
That's like React content. It's like a different Say what you will about Mr. Beast, at least he's I don't know, like in real life doing things kind of, and not just.
Yeah, he is all there.
I mean, I say that
like,
as someone who literally puts themselves on a stream and reacts to like internet videos, but whatever. He's not a tier list content creator is my point. I don't know why I made a Mr. Beast joke.
because he has that kind of sway. He's a big celebrity. If he did a tier list rating, well, North Korea has their own internet. They probably wouldn't see it. They wouldn't see Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I'm gonna put country tier list in the F tier. I'm afraid to ask.
It's too hard to rate.
What the iceberg would be.
Iceberg.
I feel like everyone.
That's hard for my mind to wrap around.
Well, the way I'm thinking about it is like
Everyone's
personal, like, you know how the iceberg works with like you start in the shallow waters and you get into the more obscure
and then
shit.
it's like, oh, you didn't even know that beneath the surface that you can actually see.
Well,
the
and
iceberg
then the
is
deeper
massive.
you go, the more like it's like the more forbidden knowledge type shit.
Yeah, the stuff that you wouldn't talk about or something. Or it'd be how we're with like the stuff that where like you have to know somebody a long time before you'd even know that about them or something.
That's what I'm saying is like each person's personalized iceberg. It would just get into like personal trauma
like
or
what?
something. It's supposed to be like internet.
That's like what you would say.
Spook stuff, but honestly, dude, I've seen stuff on the internet.
If you did it with your own if we did it with our own personal life, that'd be too far.
Traumatized me. You know what I mean? Like that's some spooky shit.
Oh, you mean like rabbit holes? Like you go down rabbit holes of like a certain topic on the internet and it gets creepy.
Or you go into like a weird like
conspiracies or something just for fun.
People are spamming videos and you watch the wrong video.
Oh yeah, well I don't go to those spaces because they're scary.
Well, I mean, I don't
Except
even know.
when I was trying to download Tor and go on
it was literally like a chat room for like a band or I don't know.
I was trying to go on Tor and like just go on the deep web server browser or something and just do like safe websites that were already looked up.
Oh, so
just
you
for
could,
fun. But then my phone would get bricked and stuff, so it's like, what the fuck?
Get bricked? What does that even mean?
Like it just stopped working after I was just messing around with that shit because it's not protected.
Huh. Were you doing it to like using it like a VPN?
No, it's just like to access websites that I guess weren't on the normal internet searchable. Some of them are, but I guess some are like not or something.
Okay.
Not like I didn't want to go on any weird ones, but I don't know. I was just messing around with it.
Oh shit! Are you fucking?
I guess user? Like they cracked down on all those like websites or something that people used to cite. Like there was like well-known websites or something that were rumored, like where you could like just buy a rocket launcher or like have a hitman or something.
Oh, like the
and
Silk
like
Road
they got mirrored
stuff.
And all this stuff. Yeah. Just
That's
crazy.
Where there's a famous story.
Like, that was like a creepypasta to me when I found out about the deep web.
That is a creepypasta.
And then I tried to mess around with like, oh, I want to search like a website where like somebody had some art that's like, I don't know, some weird old school style website or something weird that like they just decided to put on the deep web instead because somebody's smart enough to like make a website there or something.
There's
a
weird, famous story of like some guy.
There's some like one that are like people put like it's creepy stuff that's only there, but it's not real. It's like creepypasta on purpose. So it's like it's interesting. I feel like
there's like a game like that.
There's games, yeah. Where you
Sad Satan, and then there's worlds.
There's like
online.
There's like puzzles and stuff.
No, but I was gonna tell you there's
it's creepy though.
There's
too.
a story about a guy.
That.
I think it was like it wasn't Martin Shkreli, the guy that guy who like bought the Wu-Tang record and is like the pharmaceutical. It was some
the guy who got me banned
like
on Facebook.
that. He got you banned?
No, I'm just kidding. I got a temporary ban because I said the word bitch. I spelled the word bitch. That's the reason. But I said he's a bitch. I said Martin Shkreli's a bitch.
Okay.
And then like Facebook gave me like almost a month where like I had like limited use of my account. I couldn't like or comment or anything
Weird.
and stuff. They like partially restricted it.
Anyway, so it was this guy like Martin Shkreli or something. He was like some like up and coming new money billionaire pharma tech guy or something, and he got like blackmailed, or like he tried to order a hitman or something, and yeah, I guess it didn't. He got like extorted, or he got like his Bitcoin wallet stolen, or it was like $20,000, but it was like all fake. It was like, of course you can't get a fucking hitman on the dark web. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's like really not that protected. It's just it
like
seems
50
scary. It's like people are playing
more
off of that.
that it's just some random dude in like a click farm trying to get 20,000 fucking dollars from you. Like, what are you? Wow, come on, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, the shit's creepy. The iceberg thing doesn't have to be about creepy like internet shit though. Like that, a lot of them are.
it's just because it gets dark.
You can make
near
an
the
iceberg
bottom.
about fucking flamenco music if you wanted to. You know, you can make an iceberg about bossa nova. That'd be cool, actually.
Yeah, the deeper you go, it's like
Actually,
towards
a
the
bossa
origin.
nova, and if we're gonna play
You know-
the iceberg, the bossa nova iceberg would be
The iceberg's
kind
just
of
a
midway down
metaphor.
the iceberg of the iceberg.
What about an iceberg lettuce? On a lettuce. The origin of lettuce. I'm so proud of myself. Iceberg lettuce. What about that?
Wait,
How about
what
that
one? What?
Iceberg of lettuce. The iceberg of lettuce. The origins of lettuce. The deeper
Lettuce
you go
is
down.
too specific, though. I would do
What are
leafy
you talking
greens,
about?
maybe.
Okay. No, because lettuce, where did lettuce come from? What's before?
I think there's
what was
literally
before
only
lettuce?
like 3
What was
kinds of
before
plants.
lettuce?
What are you doing?
Trying to find the sweet spot.
What? I'm so fucking done. There's literally only like 3 types of leafy greens that are actually classified as lettuce. Like that'd be a very short
I know,
iceberg.
but everything has like an evolutionary tree. Also,
That's what I'm saying, leafy greens. There might be more
I guess
lettuces.
no,
I don't
you
know.
can still start from lettuce.
These days, they
it's like you
probably
could start
have-
from human and then go back in time 2,000 years, and then when God created us from
Yeah, but then
the
you're
woman's
talking
rib.
about stuff that isn't edible, and we wouldn't even know how it tastes.
No, we could talk about like the historical evidence of like what was before lettuce. Like, did we farm it out from its old original form to the form it is today?
The
We farmed some
iceberg,
lettuce, the iceberg of
the
iceberg
lettuce.
lettuce.
Okay.
Because it's iceberg lettuce.
I am picking up what you're putting down.
Come on.
But in order to play this game by its rules, I have to ask then, where would you place the iceberg? Or no, where would you place
F
the lettuce
tier.
iceberg?
After.
But no, it's not a tier list, it's an iceberg.
Okay.
So it's the it's a
lettuce
question of
is
how
the
obscure
top.
is it?
The lettuce is the very top, the tippy top of the iceberg.
Because
And
why
then the
though?
origins all the way back in time of its
It's a question of like
single
how
origin.
obscure is lettuce in general. It's a question of obscurity.
Obscurity.
Yeah.
Lettuce isn't obscure. Are you serious? What's not obscure about lettuce?
I mean, it's tiny bit obscure. Like
An
I
iceberg
feel like basic
lettuce.
people don't eat salads. you know, or like
I
low
bet.
quality people or whatever you want to say. The
Poor
kind of people that
people.
don't eat salads, like me.
Poor people don't eat salad.
You want to go to the arcade?
I don't know. Maybe.
Look at that timestamp.
Heck yeah.
I'm fucking done with you.
It's time.